Estate Agency 2035. Today I'm joined by Adam Mackay, who is an estate agent from Hertfordshire, really well known in the industry, and you want to talk about where you see estate agency in 10 years' time. Talk to me.
I do, and I also want to find out what you think as well, Chris. So I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I see we're going for a big change in agency, and I think it's been coming for a long time. I think that's how I feel. I still love the job. I used to love being an agent and growing my business back in 2010 during the credit crunch when I launched. But sometime about 6-7 years ago, I think I sort of lost my way a little bit. I was like, this is too hard. Like, this is, and you're reliant so much on the market conditions and and team members, employed team members performing. So I see us going through a bit of a transition at the moment. And, if we fast forward 10 years from now, I do think the agency is going to be more like in America, Australia, New Zealand and the rest of the world, really. Yeah. So I think it's going to be partner agents, bigger teams of brokerages, probably kind of like mergers coming together, less high street agents, more... what I think is going to be best for the consumer is I think it's going to be a more higher quality agent out there on the streets.
Charging more?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially, probably there's probably going to be there's always going to be an element of high, medium, and low. I think, but I think there's going to focusing more on the quality of the advice and marketing and the end user, the service, because I think it varies too much at the moment. And I think there's probably a saturated market. I think in 10 years from now, I think there'll be less of us, but a higher quality. And what do you think?
Any particular topic?
On amount of agents, I would say. Amount of agency, brands, and well, I don't know, self-employed, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, let's look at self-employed.
Percentage.
They reckon at the moment the number of self-employed estate agents, if you include Yopa, who they consider themselves self-employed, Keller, EXP, Advocado, Hortons,
the
agency, the property experts, you add them all up, they're about 3%.
Yes.
Which doesn't sound a lot, but actually that's, if you added Connells and William H. Brown together, that's the size.
Yeah.
Which is weird, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because 3% sounds
tiny.
Yeah.
I can remember doing a video around 2018, 2019 saying I thought that within 10 years, 30% of estate agents would be self-employed, and I was laughed at. In hindsight, 30% is probably too much, but I still think there will be a lot more self-employed estate agents. Whether it I can see it getting into late single figures.
Yeah.
By the end of this decade.
And there's lots of talk about obviously AI and jobs going in the world. But do you see? So I feel like I'm interviewing you now, Chris.
Yes.
But I've got a question. Where do you see like the office admin or the old negotiator role going?
You see, I'm a massive fan of the personal agent, the person who takes the property on the market, does the viewings, negotiates the sale, and even does the vendor contact. I think you can outsource the sales progression to a professional. I'm a massive fan of that. And if you look at the stats really do speak for themselves, that by outsourcing, you can outsource that to someone else in your organisation or outsource it to someone else. You need to have skin in the game. The sales timescale comes down from 19 to around 11 or 12 weeks.
And I have to say, when I outsourced my sales progression, it was a scary thing to do because we'd built the business about being, being good at that part. It suddenly changed my whole working life because, yes, I still have a daily update with her.
Yes.
So I know where everything is, and I can step in, or the agents can step in when they need to. But you're not on that valuation thinking about, I've got that solicitor trying to phone me, as I was getting out of the car, and I can't answer the call, or you're trying to exchange one. It doesn't make sense doing it yourself, does it?
No, I mean, and the beautiful thing, is that I think Peter Knight wrote an article, I think it was even 4 years ago, that said you could outsource everything apart from the valuation. So I think there'll be a lot more outsourcing.
Yeah.
And then the professionals can do the job. And if you punch the numbers in, it does actually work out a treat. Self-employed estate agency will grow. I think that we'll still have the portals. And I would hope that we'd have some form of regulation by then,
Yeah. Yeah.
which will hopefully... Will Roper actually improve fees? No, it won't, but it will probably get rid of the ones that don't want to do it. And by definition, supply will go down and fees will go up. Hopefully, if fees can go up, we can attract a different type of person into the industry, who is, what am I trying to say? We as an industry hate the rejection of losing a listing and do everything in our power not to lose it. And from that, because we know vendors are attracted to people who give them overinflated prices, it absolutely, I have a beef about overvaluing. Now, there are such things as ethical overvaluing and unethical. I think the vast majority of overvaluing is unethical. You give a price to get the business and then don't do anything with it afterwards. Now, there's one agent in Southend called Gilbert and Rose, and I can tell, because you know me, I like my stats show, they overvalue like dogs. Yet you can tell by looking at their stats, they get the price down in 2 weeks and they get it sold and they shed loads of people. It's the ones that overvalue, and then the valuer doesn't take a responsibility for managing the property, throws it to the neg.
That sounds to be like they're giving the seller the opportunity. Go, look, I know the other agent said that. Let's give it 2 weeks.
Well, they're actually physically booking in a bloody appointment.
Yeah, they're saying 2 weeks. That's clever business, isn't it?
Yeah. So I ain't got an issue with ethical overvaluing. It's the unethical, which is what the vast majority of do. Interestingly, this weekend I did some research on Bath because that was my focus for the week, and the agents who in the big 12 estate agents, I put them in order of whether they overvalued or not.
Right.
And the agents that were really close to what the house was worth got on average £4,200 more than the agents who overvalued.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary? Isn't that scary? So things will change, but at the same time they won't change. Think back to 2015. It's not that dissimilar.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there won't be spaceships and stuff like that. It'll just be the same old shit with a different shape.
Our cars might drive themselves by then.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But I think ultimately it comes down to is this: estate agencies are people business, and those estate agents who grasp the opportunity of being themselves and enjoying the job for what they can do, outsourcing the stuff they're not very good at and focusing on the stuff that they are good at, learning to love rejection, walking away, nurturing, great marketing to attract people to them. You'll end up enjoying the job more, earning more money, having happier vendors. Well, it's not much better than all that, is there?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Thank you for your time today.